of all, how was your travel? How are you?
Get over here, Nick.
Hi there team, welcome back into another session. Hope everyone is having a brilliant week so far. We are going to review the Bitcoin price today. We've had an absolutely fabulous grind up on price action since the beginning of week, Sunday/Monday lows. We are only now just starting to find a little bit of supply in the market. The bears are just starting to show their hand a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a dynamic look at the action right now. Good timing for this video to be out actually, because as we hit this supply, are we up for a little bit of a dip, for a buy the fucking dip, okay? Or is it just going to be an absolute bear massacre and we just continue to grind out the supply and push onwards and upwards into all-time highs? Let's review that today. So quick look at where we have come from and where we are going. As always, we'll keep this video nice and quick. So Monday lows / Sunday lows, very nice risk reward longs from down there, I do believe. As we entered back into the range at the beginning of the week, Bitcoin TA chart for the nerds, hold the range lows and weekly open, bears are fucked higher, okay? So that was the chart posted beginning of the week where we're still down here at that 103 level. We are now just tackling the value area highs of this range at 107, so we will review that today for you. We found some bears. This was yesterday. We found some bears lurking near last week's highs. No straight road to all-time high just yet. We may need to regroup and attack from lower monthly open demand. Okay, so some nice technical levels coming up for us to play today. If you caught the last video, we were looking for a push higher. Okay, so this was the last video on Tuesday. Just as we entered the range back here, we pushed, we held that POC. There was potential for a little bit of chop here for a little bit, and then we were looking for further expansion up yesterday. Okay, so right here, right now, just simply looking for the point of control to hold. Okay, possibly a little bit of chop, but I'm not sure because this is very bullish price action. Okay, and then yeah, looking for further expansion up in the coming days and weeks. 4-hour fib time landing there on the 26th. Okay, so here we are actually on the 26th now. I know that classic TA, you know, fib times, extensions, all of that business. I won't call it crystal ball stuff. It's all very brilliant. We all love classic TA, don't we? But we need to see offers in those areas if we are going to pull back. And likewise to the downside, if we do pull back, we need to see some demand to bid that back up. So let's have a look at the all-important levels in TradingView first of all. Then we'll dive into the TRDR console. Here we go, guys. TradingView chart just for some pure raw levels. I'm going to keep this very simple for you today. Okay, we've had that expansion up now. I don't even know what you'd call this pattern, but we've had some expansion up. We have had some supply hitting over the last 48 hours, but it's just not been enough to send us back down to either range lows or to that point of control. It's only just now, over the last 8 to 12 hours, I've actually been seeing quite a chunk of supply coming in on the market, so we will go and have a look at that. Where are we? So it's very valid to see that supply coming in. We're at the value area high of this range. You can draw parallel channels, maybe, you know, lower high, you know, high, lower high, potential lower high again, okay? But this is going to be an important battleground now for the next 12 hours, I would say. That fib time coming in 9 AM my time, so on the next 4-hour candle, potentially a little bit of a battle going on in the next 4 hours pre-US session. As we see that 4-hour order block there, we've potentially got a daily NPOC and we're just extending out of these value area high. Okay, so looking at the 1-hour chart, absolute grind up. So the weekly VWAP holding there, if anyone was scalping long on that position, then that's very valid as well. Okay, absolute grind up. So this is the zone. This is the zone I'm looking at next. Just a tickle. If we can get a tickle over 109 or into this order block here with confluence in the order flow, I'm actually open to having a little short in here. Okay, day trade short, because potentially there's no straight road to all-time highs again in the next week or so. So as a trader, dynamic trader, I'm open to shorting this back down, and then maybe that just takes us back here to the monthly open or something like that. You know, that is not a percentage to be sniffed at. You're only about 1% away from that zone, so I'm happy to wait, chill out for the next couple of hours and see if we get that in the next 4-hour candle. And then, you know, if you were to get a 3-4% move down, okay, back down into a demand zone to then volley that back up, I think that's very valid. But with that being said, we need the data, don't we? Let's jump into the trader console.
Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated.
Right then, guys, Trader Console, grab a link from below for a free trial. Don't forget to jump into the Academy for further education on how I use the console on a day-to-day basis. And don't forget to drop into the docs page as well. The guys have done a brilliant job with the docs page, a wealth of education and information in that docs page, okay? But let's have a look at what Bitcoin's doing, shall we? If you want to join us for a look at more altcoins, then join us in the US live session a little bit later on. I'll probably do that pre-US session as well, maybe like 1:30 time for me, UTC. Hour before the US Open. I like to get a little bit of a data read before the US session opens, okay? So that's where we've come from. BTC Diamond, okay, no momentum, no lagging indicators here, sir or madam. That is pure raw data from the alert system, okay, from the alert system telling us that the bid is in, okay, and then we've got a further expansion up there, and then we've all seen over the last 48 hours is absolute grind up. So previous week highs here at 108.8. I'm sure there's a little bit of liquidity a little bit higher as well, okay. So if we can tick up here, give the bears a little bit of a scare, okay, maybe just a tickle over that 109. I think there's going to be some liquidity if we can just tick over that 109. Defense there, so any stops need to be over 110, I would say, okay? Don't put it right on 110 because, you know, you might get a little bit of a wick. Okay, but that's going to be your invalidation 110 if you're looking to short into this area, okay? Maybe this takes you through to the weekend, you know, Friday, tomorrow, maybe it's a short through to the weekend, back into Mondays, and then volley it back up, okay? But with that being said, you know, who's to say that the bears just don't defend this area right here, right now? They could do. You can already see we've had a lot of alerts saying that we're in the supply zone, okay? So not to be ignored. I would like 109. It doesn't mean I'm going to get it. If we continue to float around this area and these ratios continue to be aggressive, okay, they continue to be aggressive, then we're just going to float down. I'm not going to get that value up there as a greedy trader, okay? If we just have a look at the full window for a second, keep that nice and simple, and just have a look at what volume's doing as well. What can we see in the volume as we're grinding up? We've got slight bearish divergences, okay? Spot market's coming off, obviously, because they've got those ratios there. Perps market's coming off as well. They've got some ratios there. Look who's going long into this area. Retail going long. Okay. Also, Volume King template, nice cluster building of the open interest, the LS ratio, okay, and the funding's getting a little rise as well, so nice to see it. But yeah, I would keep an eye on the perps market, obviously. Negative 30 ratio on Binance perps. Spot market as well, they've got that defense at 110, so any wicks into this space I would be very, very happy with. I am bullish on the higher time frame structure still, but I'm a mercenary trader. I don't give a flying fuck. I will still short this back down to the monthly open, even the weekly open. That would be a brilliant trade, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's see what we get today. Join us in the live session a little bit later on. I will drop a link for that. Let's have a great end to the week, guys. Cheers. Speak soon.
I bet your margins are pretty nice and fat.
Let's not talk about my margins, by the way. Being nice and fat. That's a nice shirt. Do they make it for men?
And we say bye-bye.